Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Monday Merriment. Today is December 16th. The moon phase is waning, and the moon sign is in Cancer. When the moon is in Cancer, it's a good time to resolve conflicts with family and other relationships. Today, I wanted to go over a very simple prosperity spell that you could use for 2025. Now, I used to do this many years ago, and I repeat it every year. And I'm going to explain how this works. Now, you take a cardboard shaped house. Now, I've seen cardboard shaped houses. When I used to do these things, I used to get them at the Dollar Tree. I have not seen cardboard houses in a long time at the Dollar Tree, but they do have them online. I will not tell you where to buy them online, because when you buy them online, like I looked at cardboard houses on Amazon, and most people are selling them in bulk, meaning you can't just buy one cardboard house. You have to buy like maybe 12 or whatever, okay? And sometimes that's just not practical for people, unless of course you want to purchase a bunch of cardboard houses and give them to friends for them to do their own project or something. But anyway, what you do is you get a cardboard house, or you could even make one. If you can't go out and buy one, you can take, shapes, cut them up, and create a cardboard house, much like the one that you see here on the left side of the screen. And what you do is you take some play money, just some fake money. Maybe your kids might have some laying around that you don't need or whatever. And you take the money and you stuff it inside the house. Okay. And of course, you meditate, you do your prayers and everything. What this is a money drawing spell to ensure prosperity for the next year. Okay. If you do not have play money, what you could do is, I call it sacrificing a dollar. Like, you take a dollar, a regular small dollar bill. And the reason why I say sacrificing, because you won't be using that dollar. You're going to be inserting it into the house. And what you do is, if you have a real dollar, just write times, I don't know, I used to put times the yearly salary that I wanted to make when I was younger. Okay. Now you can use this for, of course, your own household, but you can also use this cardboard box to represent your business or whatever. Okay. I'm just giving you an idea that could be fun for the new year. Okay. I do suggest you do check out the Dollar Tree, even though I have not seen them, but every once in a while they'll get some odd shipment that you don't expect to see. You can also check out places like the Family Dollar, a Dollar General. They might have these cardboard houses. You don't have to use cardboard. I've seen actual regular wood type, pine type shape boxes that you can use. The important thing is that you have the ability to insert the dollar bills in them, okay, and then seal them up. Feel free to add any additional prosperity or money drawing items into the house with the dollar bills. That means if you have crystals, rocks, other sort of good luck charms or whatever, you can also add those into the box. Now, what I used to do before I sealed the box, the cardboard box, is I used to light some incense and let some of the incense go into the house, and then I would close the door. Actually, sometimes I would end up gluing the door, depending on how the house was. Sometimes there was a door shape, and then sometimes I would the top of the little house would have like a roof, and that's how I would insert things into it. Depends on each box. Now, like I said, I would repeat this little ritual, I would say, every year. And I started doing this like in 2004, and I stopped doing it like sometime like in 2009. So I would, during I would say December month or whatever, I would go and shopping and buy another house. What I would do is I would perform this on December 30th before midnight, meaning so that way I already had my little house already for the 2005. I was already, or whatever, 2005, but for the new year, okay? And it was already set in place, okay? So what you do with your old boxes, like I said, you just tear into it, break it apart, transfer the money. You could add more money each year if you want to, but that's how it works. And then also on the front of the house, I would write the year of what new year it was. And you could decorate the box any way you want to, the outside of it. Some people would probably choose to paint their houses traditional colors like white or brown or whatever. But you could also paint a little house in money drawing colors like gold or green. Well, this should be no surprise to you, but just to let you know, I have been in a lot of deep meditation this entire weekend. I have been getting intuitive messages like for the last 2 weeks, and I have been writing them down. And of course, I always try to meditate to really get the feel of what my messages mean, if that makes any sense. It's hard because you can't really describe the thought process with to make other people understand how psychic intuition works. But I did want to share some of these messages. I have been under the I've come to the understanding for quite a long time, so this is really not new, but I do understand that a lot of churches are converting to my teachings. And the reason why I say this is not new, because I know that some religions, such as I've influenced religions in the 19th century, so that's nothing new, okay? But I think what happened, many people witnessed what was going on in my targeting. And I do believe that a lot of people were it left a mark on the minds of a lot of people. And so obviously, I think by experiencing this reality, it couldn't be denied. And I do think that that's a good thing that the churches are, I would say, I wouldn't say openly, but I do think it's good that people don't sweep the truth under the carpet. How about that? Okay, so that's great. Also, I got the intuitive message that the economy is going up, and I do believe that I had contributed to that. There's a lot of people, and I've seen this online. I've seen a lot of people doing creative food magic. They are not calling it food magic, but they are doing a lot of creative things with food, and I do know that I have inspired that. Also, many people who are selling things online are making money off of these ideas. I'm inspiring the economy with food magic, color shapes, clothing, etc., symbolism. I think that's wonderful. Okay, I do get a strong message that people do recognize me as a prophet, and I do know a prophet. Okay, I've always been close to the divine, but I never really as Maria Gordon, I've never really stepped out and made public statements about it. I did have a YouTube channel many years ago, Dark Desert Moon, back in 2008 or 2009, somewhere around there. But that was more for me to connect with people of like mind. I never went out on my way as Maria Gordon to start my own religion or anything like that. But people, this is the message that I get, that people look at me as a prophet. They do know that my psychic gifts have been proven, that they appreciate me giving them methods of divination, and many people have had success with the spells that I provided. I think that's wonderful. I do think it's important for me to say that my true mission here on earth, even as dark as my origins are, I would say during my meditation this weekend, I really dove into focusing on the issue of the Psalm, me being King Solomon, and then of course my favorite incarnation, I'm going to say, is C.B. Braganza. Now some people say, my God, King Solomon, look at all of that. Why I love C.B. Braganza more than anyone else is because it's just my the next person that I was before I am now. I don't know what it is about it, but I just absolutely adore C.B. Braganza. Anyway, yes, my true mission is to call people to heaven. Now, I do believe that sometimes, even though people may not intend for things to go a certain way, divine intervention can redirect a situation. Like, I understand, especially, I really got more of an understanding in my meditation about this whole underground syndicate that went around cloning people for such a very, very long time. Okay. Their goal was to create a form of world domination by taking people who were very strong characters in history and bringing them back and putting them in subservient positions. This is what they got a kick out of, okay? And it's basically so that they felt that they could dominate these people. And but what it really was, this whole issue got exposed because now people have come to the understanding of their organs as being clones, the injustice of dominating somebody in that manner. Like, I don't have conflicts with people, okay, but I do believe that historically people were envious of my gifts from the divine, okay? I'm not flaunting my gifts from the divine. I do share information. I want other people to understand that there's beautiful things on the earth that can enhance their life, okay? But I don't go around, bullying people like the Christians bullied me, okay? I've never done anything like that. But what ended up happening, through their crooked plan, people are getting called to heaven. Just because of a form of karma from the divine, I don't know what it is, but this is what I truly do believe that my mission is. And I also want to talk about, just because I'm here to call people to heaven, some people get really dark with their understanding of how miserable the earthly life existence is, okay? I am not in any way promoting suicide, and I do want to say something that I do believe that is very important. A few days ago, I was on Facebook. Now, I kind of dip in and dip out on Facebook, mainly because I have a lot of social anxiety, and I brought this up last week, and I did a few shout outs. I have social anxiety that is understandable, okay? I was created based on a hate crime. A very dark hate crime, okay? And so I get very nervous when I encounter people because and like I said, I am intuitive, okay? But do you really think it's fun for me to have to go through life, to have to sit here and meditate and wonder if a person is going to be decent? Are they crooked? Because most people, I will tell you, when I was growing up throughout my time in school, in public places, especially in the workplace, all I have dealt with was crooked people, okay? And I do believe that there's some people who have been introducing themselves to me, and they might have no intentions other than because they are, I guess, what you call fans. And I want to tell you, I do appreciate your support, okay? Because I will tell you, this whole program was very dark, and I went through a very, very, very hard time, okay? Especially when I came to the realization of how deep this issue was, okay? But anyway, I was on Facebook, and I don't really get into my messages, but sometimes, they kind of, if I'm on my tablet, they kind of pop up really quick, okay? And there was one guy, he was talking about, he was in a targeted individuals group, and he was talking about how he was thinking about committing suicide. Now, because I was ostracized for many years, okay? Ostracized online, ostracized in the community and everything else. I wanted to say something to this person, okay? But I let it go, okay? But hopefully this person might be watching my video. And I want you to know that, yes, earthly life can be very dark. There's not a whole lot. There's sincerity in people is very little, okay? There's very little people you can trust. And I will tell you, we all get that feeling of there's nothing really here. I don't believe that there's anything here. The only thing that keeps me here and grounded are my little hobbies and the things that I love. That's it, okay? My art, my clothes. Yes, they were trying to take my clothes away. And I want to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But anyway, these things is what keeps me here. I do not find anything of value here. And a lot of people feel that way, okay? But that is no reason for you to let the archons win. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, because archons are the very entities and demonic forces that inflicted this sort of pain on mankind. So don't you dare let the archons win. Okay? You stay in there and you find what brings you happiness. It is important. Just about every religious group or philosophy, whatever you want to call it, they know that you have to have drive in order to continue on this earthly plane. And unfortunately, external drive is not going to come out from, but okay, internal drive is or the spark that is needed in order to give your life meaning is not going to be found in external sources. Okay, that comes on an individual basis. It just does. Okay, so that comes through things that bring you joy and happiness. Okay, now it's funny because I've done readings on myself. Hang on. I've done like readings on myself, and I get messages saying, okay, these intuitive messages, they're not intuitive, okay? Intuitive messages come in your mind, directly into your mind. You don't need tarot cards, you don't need playing cards, you don't need anything. These come into my mind, and it's these intuitive messages, these intuitive downloads, okay, that I have been thinking about and sorting through this entire weekend, okay? But what I wanted to say is that when it comes to, oh, I'm losing my train of thought. I'll back up a little bit. When I do get intuitive messages, I focus on oh shoot, I hate it when I forget what I was going to say. Anyway, we'll back up. I apologize for that. But anyway, my true mission is to bring people back to heaven, call them back to heaven, and let them know that this is what happened to people, a lot of people. Okay, there's people in the regular population that are clones. Okay, in my case, I was created because I was supposed to be some sort of rival to somebody. Now, going back in my mind, I don't believe I have ever been in any of my past lives somebody who wanted to create conflict. In fact, my belief as a leader in the past, because it seems as though I was a leader in the past. I was King Solomon. Okay, I do have a past life as being the wife of King Tut, and that is not my form of government to bully anybody. I think it's important for me to mention that when I was King Solomon, okay, when I was King Solomon, I prayed for divine understanding on how to lead people, And to this very day, everyone knows that Maria Gordon understands psychology very well, and I understand law very well. To this day, as Maria Gordon. Okay, that is the foundation of how you run a society. Okay, if you make people content, if people are content in a society, they feel satisfied. Now, unfortunately, not everybody can be satisfied in society. Okay, there's people who are poor, there's people who are homeless, okay? But what I'm saying is, if you give people flexibility, okay, just one of the reasons why people like the United States. They like the United States. Well, I understand that there's a lot of corruption that happened, okay? But people like the United States form of government because there's that flexibility. You cannot legally be thrown in jail for walking down the street whistling, okay? It's those little things, okay? And maybe whistling is your thing. You have the right to do that, okay? But giving people understanding the common need of people and being able to accommodate that, the flexibility, is number one. Because people intuitively, innately, they want their wiggle room. You know what I mean? They want to be free, okay? But you also have to have those guidelines within, the structure that's already been laid out for the protection of people and themselves, right? So, but anyway, I do not believe, now I think I know what I'm talking about. I don't believe that in any of my past life, that I went around creating conflict with other people deliberately, okay? I have always been a very peaceful person. I have always been persecuted because of my spiritual strength and because I am a direct creation from God. Yes, I am calling people home to heaven. Not now, meaning like when you die, understand that your soul is free. Your soul goes on forever, okay? What I find dark about this is that this is something that the underground syndicate understood and wanted to trap. That is sick. That is very sick. Okay, now, there was no real purpose behind bringing old souls back other than for ego and domination. I do understand that this program worked through certain industries, okay? And I found out some really interesting things, like I said, this weekend, which I have decided to write into my newsletter. So I'm not going to go into all of it, but I am putting it into my newsletter because some of it's really exciting and then some of it's like, ooh, that's kind of dark. But anyway, yes, I understand that. World domination is something that has never interested me. And it's funny because I keep thinking, okay, well, I guess if I was a King Solomon, and I ruled people as King Solomon, right? And I was King Tut's wife, and we both kind of ruled together. It's funny how Maria Gordon never had any interest in politics. And I guess the main reason why I never had any interest in politics as Maria Gordon is because I understood that which has been on the earth for a very long time, the corruption runs rampant. And I'm not saying that to point fingers or blame anybody. I'm just saying is what was put in place by the archonic energies, okay, the archons, aliens, whatever you want to call them, okay, created a upside down, inverted world to where everything is supposed to be good becomes corrupt. And you notice that okay, a good example. A good example would be how the majority of people thought it was okay to bully me. They honestly thought they had a valid reason to bully me. They do not have the ability to decipher what is right and what is wrong. They have no concept of any sort of justice at all. Okay, regardless of the fact that some of these people are educated. What I'm saying is, I want to tell you that the mind control and the deception is so deep. It's like goes in layers. It's layers upon layers of confusion. Okay, I was also thinking about how an example of the confusion. Okay, now like I said, I have nothing against people who want to worship Jesus. That's fine. Okay, but when it came to as an institution, by pulling all these churches together that had nothing to do, like for example, the Jehovah's Witness, their doctrine has nothing to do with Mormons or whatever. They always made it clear that they were completely separate. But when I was being persecuted, suddenly they were all together. That's corrupt, okay? But what my point is that their corruption, okay, they never thought, Jehovah's Witnesses never thought, well, why is it okay for us to join together in this situation? When historically, the Watchtower and Tract Society has always told them to be separate. And that's, it's these sort of things, okay? They don't ever stop to reason, use logic, because the layer of mind control is so deep. Another issue is when it comes to, like, the person, now I am not in any way persecuting homosexuality, okay? I am a clone, okay? And I know that because of their design of, like, I'm a girl now. My last incarnation, I was a man, okay? So many times I've seen Christians attack homosexuals and people who have gender identities. I honestly do believe that a lot of people who have gender identity problems, they are a direct result or have something to do with being clones. And it's beyond their control. But yet we had Christian groups persecuting people about their, and I'm not saying that this is going on now. I will say that people who had struggled with their gender identity, okay, it seems as though people are kind of accepting that now, okay? It doesn't seem like they're being heavily persecuted. And of course, I don't know because I don't experience that. Like, I don't have a problem with my gender as Maria Gordon or anything like that. But for people who do, I'm just saying is they attack people for things that they created themselves. It's as if they can't take any blame or responsibility for the sick problems that they cause. It's their fault, the archonic underground syndicate why we have people who have issues with their gender identity. If you're going to flip from male to female, from life after life, you're going to be accustomed. Like, it would be very difficult for me. I'm a woman. I am a total woman. I'm a girly, girly, girly girl. And I'm sure when I was CB Braganza, I may have struggled with that because I was at one time uh, the wife of King Tut, which is a woman. Okay, so I could have very well been a CB Braganza, someone who's a very effeminate type person. I know that CB Braganza was persecuted because he liked clothes. You know what I mean? He loved clothes. And I'm not saying, because men can like clothes too. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But I'm just saying is, that could have very well been a repeat or him being attached, naturally attached, to feminine things when he was in his past life. Okay, so the next message I wanted to talk about was CB coming to, this is so crazy, okay. I'm going to go more into this story in the newsletter, okay, but I do know that CB Braganza left England because he was persecuted over his clothes. And I do understand that I was bullied here in this community because of the piggybacking off of the history of me being uh, uh, I guess, kicked out of England and coming here to the United States. Hang on. Okay, so there was something wrong with my computer. Anyway, so yeah, I do believe that there's nothing here on earth. Nothing here on earth for me to devote my time, interest, love, and attention to. There's just not. Other than, of course, my son, or, that's it, really. I really, because this is how I'm going to be very upfront about how I feel about the injustice of being bullied for absolutely nothing, for a situation that they created. This is how sick it gets, okay? So when it comes to me choosing what makes me happy, hell no, I was not going to separate from my clothes. They were asking me to separate from something that I care about. You know what I mean? That is the only thing I care about. My little world is the only thing. There is no reason for me to really, and I'm going to be very honest about this, okay? And I appreciate that, and please do not take it this way. But when you look at all the hatred that was directed to me, I have no reason to care about anyone. I have no reason to care about anyone or pray for their life or any of that. There's no reason for me to do that at all. Think about it. Okay, this is how sick it is. So when I have to encounter people, I really get a little bit nervous because, like on Facebook and stuff like that, because I can think, okay, if I open up this dialogue to have a friendship with this person, are they just trying to lure me in for more bullying? That's the only thing I can think. And what else could I think after dealing with this for such a long time? Okay, no, I will never give up the things that I love here on this earth. I will not. As long as I'm here, I will never do that. And I was willing to stand up for it because it's my right as an American citizen. And really, it's my right as a human being. Yeah, okay, so anyway, I also got this message that non-white people of the earth are glad to return to who they are. I don't know why that came to my message because I try very hard to stay out of racial issues. But I do know that I was persecuted. See, the thing is, when people try to modify habits of a minority person, they are trying to exert their white supremacy. That's what it is. And I do know that I have addressed that issue of the white supremacy that was being inflicted on me here in this community. Okay? But that was not me. I was just trying to say, hey, look, this is what you're doing. I'm not saying that, be against white people, but that it is what it is, okay? But I will say when it comes to dealing with white people and the history behind their hatred towards me, I don't really have a reason to like white people. I have no reason to like white people. I have no reason to respect white people, but I do anyway. What I mean by that is that I am polite to white people, okay? But it did leave a message in my mind, and it left an impression in my mind of what they're capable of doing. Okay, I've experienced evil. I have never experienced anything decent from a white person. That's just the way it is. Okay, and it's the truth. Okay, and I don't ever promote hatred. I have every right to promote hatred towards white people, but I'm not doing that. Okay, my main focus in my life is my projects, and that's it. I focus on my projects. Okay, that's it. The things that I like to do. Anything else, whatever. And that means that includes black people, whatever. It's just at this point in my life, I feel like I need to take care of me. And yeah, I do want to go out dancing and stuff like that. But when I really think about it, I have a hard time struggling with people who allowed this to happen. This is how I feel. So I go back and forth, you know, hey, it would be nice to have someone to hang out with. And then I keep thinking, I can never trust anyone else again. It's normal to think that way. But I do believe that it's important, this intuitive message about the non-white people of the earth are glad to return to who they are. I think that's good because we're not white, okay? We're not white, okay? And it's very difficult when you're dealing with things like, in fact, for example, the big blow up about my hair, right? A lot of times white people have no idea how offensive they can be, okay? And the reason why they have no idea of how offensive they can be is because for a long time, white people have been following they have been seriously mind controlled through archonic forces. And this is why they say, I can tell you some of the rudest things white people have done, or to me, and the things that they've said, and obviously the things that they've done, and the very fact that they knew good and well that I was a created person, meaning I was completely blameless in this issue, but they had no problem inflicting their hatred. Okay? So, yeah, I'm a little bit, you know, when it comes to white people, I don't hate white people, but you best believe I'm very protective of myself around them. Okay, yes, my origins are from heaven. I'm a person who has heavenly origins. Also, I get the intuitive message that the revision of the work culture is being taken seriously. I talked about this project shortly after I left Murray Family Farms. Okay, I have a lot of psychological problems, mainly because of my experience working in this community. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I've been bullied all my life. This was going back for as long as I can remember, back to Lancaster, okay? But working for some of these companies here in this community has caused me severe problems, okay? And I do get the intuitive message that there's a lot of Bakersfield employers who now realize that they are not professional, okay? Now, this is not me going around focusing on, like, trying to get revenge or anything, because believe me, I don't want to remember the experiences I had. These are the intuitive messages that have been floating into my mind without me even trying, okay? But I do think it's important to find work cultures that are comfortable for you. Now, I think most people know that I've been back at work. I started a job in September. Yes, I like my job. Okay, I do like my job. I focus on my job, and I enjoy working. I'm a workaholic. I am a workaholic. I enjoy working. Okay, but I do know in the past, you know, I would work for companies, and I would deal with a lot of rude comments. And I had a conversation with my son last night. Okay, and I know he was upset because he's like, man, okay, calm down. He didn't really want to hear it. Okay, I'm at a point right now where I will not take it from anybody. Okay, somebody steps out of line with me, you're going to get it. You're going to get the full blast of it. A few days ago, I was expecting a delivery because, you know, my vehicle has, the vehicle that somebody donated to me needs to be repaired. I don't take my car to the shop because I know it's going to cost me a lot of money, okay? I try to do things, you know, as sparsely as I possibly can. So I ordered a part from Amazon, right? Amazon. No, not Amazon. Sorry, it was like Rock Auto. Okay, so Rock Auto followed up. They did everything on their end. They sent the product. Okay, I got my product, but it was stolen. Okay, somebody stole the stuff off my property. Okay, and because I dealt with racial targeting in this community, I don't like to sit here and blame every single thing on white people. That's not fair to do that. Okay, but I will tell you, when things go wrong, that's the first thing that I think about, instinctively. Okay. I also want to say, if you ever touch my shit, I'm going to curse you. I'm going to curse you to oblivion. Okay? Don't you ever come on my stuff ever again. Do not ever disrespect me in any way. Period. Okay? I've had it with people. I have had it with people. And no, I do not have a, what you call anything that reels me in when I feel like somebody is harming me. I will just straight out, just like demolish you with my words. I don't care. Don't care. Okay? Because I can't kill you, but I can kill you with my words. And I can destroy you. Literally, I could literally destroy you. For somebody to steal from me after what I went through in this economy, what I went through, knowing what I went through deliberately, you deserve the death penalty, in my opinion. You stay the fuck off my property. Okay? Now, going back to the revision of the workplace, yes, I do believe that people are taking this seriously. And I had wanted to contribute my work to Fred, I think it's Fred Pryor or Career Track about, basing the work culture off of psychology, okay, and of course setting reasonable guidelines. People, like I said, if people feel happier and more productive if they feel as though they have a sense of freedom. The reason why people feel disappointed in their careers is because there's too many people who don't know how to manage other people. This is the reason why I have the psychological problems that I do. Because they were so stupid, they didn't realize that they were enacting racism out in the open and making me a target. Okay, example, when I was working at BT Trucking, okay, there was a Mexican man. And this is a part of the Nazi plan, because Nazis use other races against each other. This is one of their tactics, okay? So he was saying that I was not going to be taken seriously as a manager because I was a black person. Now, first of all, if somebody says that to you in the workplace, you need to sue those people, because the person who said that was a manager. He was a manager. He should have known better. But because he was, under the influence of Bakersfield people, he was ignorant and didn't know that. Okay, but what I was thinking, and I didn't respond to him because I knew that he was being a puppet for the white people. And I said, oh, okay. I let it go. But I was thinking to myself, they're pitting black people against Mexican people. I already knew that. Okay? This particular underground syndicate was telling people to not respect my instructions in the workplace because they didn't want me being people taking any instructions from a black person. This is white supremacy. Okay, so basically Jackie was stupid to hire me in the first place, to sit here and give me like this huge salary and for me to instruct people for people to play games. This is why I heavily resent the work culture in this community. Okay? Anyway. Yes, I do believe that the work culture should be based on psychology. And I wanted to submit that, but I was blocked from doing it because of the white underground syndicate. But yes, I think that's great that people are trying to improve their work environment. I am a great example of somebody who has dealt with unethical work environments, unethical work treatments. And you know what's so funny is that it really never occurred to them how unprofessional they were. This is why it just drove me crazy. Anyway, yes, okay. So the next message I got is that something about me creating enchantment in small places. And I kept thinking, what do they mean by that? Yes, I do create enchantment in small places. Like, for example, there is a, what do you call it? What do you call those things? Baseboard. You know those baseboards, like, at the bottom of the wall, there's a baseboard and it connects to the floor, right? Okay, I got this little picture in my house of a little mouse. It's like a little mouse hole. It's actually like a little sticker. And I stuck it on the bottom of it, so like when I'm, walking down the hallway, it'll catch the corner of my eye, and it will kind of lift up my mood because it's cute, okay? I also just recently purchased from Temu a small little desk and a little kitty cat, right? He's like looking at, I guess like a tablet or something. I thought it was cute, okay? I didn't really see where it fit in my house, so I put it on my desk at work. Desk ornaments have been around for a very, very long time, okay? So I think this is what the message meant. Me creating enchantment in small places. Yes, I brought this little character to work, and I put him on my desk. He didn't have a chair, so I had some clay, and I made him a chair. I thought when I ordered it that it came with a chair, but it didn't. So anyway, I put it on my desk. I will say, though, and no one said anything about it, but I'm saying is that in the past, when I would do stuff like this, and I think this is the reason why this message came up to my mind, in the past when I would do something like this, because I was dealing with a lot of ignorant people, they always attributed everything I did to me being a black person, which is very ignorant and stupid, okay? Desk ornaments have been around for a very long time. Very long time. I think a lot of people are familiar with the bobbleheads. I remember when I was a teenager, I don't know what I was doing. I think I went to the Social Security office or whatever. Anyway, you know, you'd go to like somebody's desk and they had like bobbleheads and stuff like that. And as well as people would put, it's been customary and it's been a very old custom for people to bring pictures of their families and set them on their desk. That is not a black thing. It's been around forever. Okay. I do, you know, have, you know, candles on my desk, but I will also say that that is not a black thing either. When I came here to Bakersfield, I worked for KERO, and my manager had candles. She would candles in her office. The only difference between me and her is she would be burning them for the scents or whatever. And to be honest with you, I do practice magic, okay? But I do have candles on my desk, but it's not something that I should be pointed out for. You know what I mean? Because I know that other people have candles in their offices as well. Okay, but it seems as though every little thing that I do, people talk about. You know what I mean? As if it's something such a great thing, or it's like so different, or whatever. It has nothing to do with race. Okay, bobbleheads, desk ornaments, burning candles, or having candles in your. People like to create. Part of the thing about work culture, or what interests me about Google. Now, I have not visited Google's office locations or whatever. I had the opportunity to do so when I worked at BT Trucking, but something canceled. I don't know what happened. It was probably a setup or whatever. I went all the way. Where did I go? Which town was that? Was it San Francisco? I don't remember where I was. Where they sent me. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they sent me. I was supposed to go there to actually see it, but I had been reading about Google's work culture for a very long time. They have things like, you know, really cute setups and things where people could relax and whatever. I do think like a home type setting within an office structure is good for people, but only for people who have a strong work ethic, because some people will probably just waste time. You know what I mean? But my point is that people feel better when they feel flexible, when they are flexible. When I remember going to this job interview, and this man was, he was obviously a part of the underground syndicate, right? He was trying to say, okay, at 10 o'clock you do this. At this is it. Okay, nobody wants to work like that. Nobody fucking wants to work like that. I have a great way of managing my time. I have a great way of completing my projects. Okay? So when it comes to Google, their work environment, what I understood about it is that they did offer things like, you know, those little activities and relaxation, whatever, for their employees, which I think is great. You know what I mean? But I'm a very regimented person, and I'm somebody who is very self-disciplined. You know what I mean? And I don't waste time. What do you call it? By if somebody gives me an assignment, I get my assignment done. Okay, how about that? But when it comes to, you know, enchanting, creating small spaces of enchantment, that's for your own mood enhancement. Like, you know, I've worked for companies where, you know, people would have pictures of their families. I worked for companies where people have pictures of, what is that guy's name? Spock. uh, Star Wars, Star Trek fans, whatever. They put things in their office that reflect them. It's almost like you're kind of at home, but not. It gives you a more of a relaxed feeling to be around your own objects. That's what it is. Okay. Also, the intuitive message that I got is that I'm learning more about CB, and this information is going to be put in the newsletter, which I'm surprised because usually my newsletter are about like 4 or 5 pages. This time it's about 8 pages long, okay? But I got the intuitive message that CB Berganza, he had a lunchbox, and he also walked to work. Now, I have always thought, as Maria Gordon, that it was a wonderful feeling to walk to work. When I was working at BT Trucking, I lived in an apartment complex right around the corner, like literally across from my workplace. And there were times where I didn't feel like getting in the car. I just wanted to feel the spring morning. And I did. You know what I mean? And I felt like this is life. This is living. I'm happy. Makes me joyously happy. The reason why is because CB Berganza did these things. You know what I mean? I call myself the 19th century man. Maria Gordon, the 19th century man. Of course I know I'm a woman. I'm just saying it's from like my past life. I'm the same person, just coming out as Maria Gordon. I do a lot of the same things as CB Berganza. Also, the authentic self is inspiring clothing option styles for a lot of people. I am very glad that this issue has inspired people to develop their own style. Throughout the years, I have loved all kinds of clothes. I have a very eclectic interest in clothes, okay? CB Berganza traveled a lot, so he incorporated a lot of different styles into his wardrobe. And I have always loved like Indian clothes. I have always loved, Indian clothes. I like Mexican clothes. And I understand things like, what do they call it? Cultural appropriation or whatever. But when you think about style, most clothes have come from different countries. Like, I had mentioned like the Chinese Mandarin collar and all these different things. I love clothes. Clothes are my passion. Okay. And so, when it comes to me being in a work environment, I cannot be separated from that. And I understood that what was going on in this community was a piggyback from the persecution that I got in England. Okay, that's white supremacy. People have the right to enjoy fashion. White people, they can be fashionable, but they were trying to inflict white supremacy on me. I will take no nonsense from anybody. None. And people know that I'm fierce. Like what I mean by that is like I have no problem confronting somebody. I have no problem tearing down a person. I will tear into somebody who tries to criticize me, who tries to put me down, or tries to inflict any of their unnecessary, unjust will towards me. And the reason why I have to be that way is because I'm all by myself. Okay, I'm tired of living in this crooked, corrupt world. I'm tired of dealing with people who want to squash out the happiness of other people because their lives are miserable. It's not my problem. But going back to the authentic self and clothing styles, here's a few of the companies that I have liked and enjoyed throughout the years. In the 90s, there was a company called Gypsy Rose. They sell a lot of hippie, counterculture type stuff. I have not bought from them in a long time, but that's a good place. I love their clothes, okay? Another place that I enjoy is company I enjoy, ModCloth. If you like retro clothing from the 1940s, 50s, whatever, ModCloth has you covered. They have a lot of really cool stuff. It's funny because now, I don't really, I'm more of a jeans type person, a jeans and sweater or turtleneck type person. Every once in a while, I'll wear something like really special, okay? But I believe clothes are important. Not just for the color significance, but it's a way of expressing yourself, and it's a way of saying, it's a statement that says, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is who I stand, what I stand for. This is what I believe. Like attracts like. Meaning you attract the vibe Your vibe attracts your tribe. It attracts not just your tribe, it attracts the people or the things that really matter to you. You know what I mean? By openly wearing things that represent you, it's saying this is what I'm about, and it aligns you accordingly, if that makes sense. I was looking up the lyric of an old song. What is this song? Let me see. A little. I think that's what it is. Tenderness. Lyrics, yeah. Let me just look this up really quick. Because it was a song that I remember would come on when I was younger. And me and my mom would listen to this particular lyric. And we would say, yeah, that's so true. It's so true. Okay, it says, oh, she may be weary, and young girls, they do get weary, wearing the same old shaggy dress. So true, okay? Not for all women, because not all women like clothes. Some women are completely indifferent to clothes, okay? But a lot of women enjoy them, and we do feel very weary wearing the same old thing. As a feminine person, I fully understand that. And when people try to prevent me from doing the things that are within my right and try to take any bit of my happiness just because they think they're superior to me, oh, hell no. I'm not even going to put up with that. So be warned. Anyway, I think that's all the intuitive messages I have. I don't want to create any hostility. I have never tried to, but I'm a very strong person. I know my rights. And I do appreciate the people who have supported me. I would say my meditations got a little intense this weekend because it did conjure up a lot of negative feelings that I really didn't want to have to bring up. And if I got a little bit rough, me talking about my anger of somebody stealing from me, the reason why is because at this point, after what I've dealt with, if anybody tries to do any sort of injustice to me, I'm going to deem you as evil. Okay, everybody knows that I went through hell. Okay, so I take people stealing from me very seriously. So right now, I'm going to go into our synchronistic symbols for the week. Okay, last week's synchronistic symbol was the British flag. And you know, it's funny is that I had seen that British flag so many times last week. Okay, as a matter of fact, I just saw it again yesterday. I was looking at an article online, and on the very upper corner, there was an icon, and that icon was the British flag. So you can find these synchronistic symbols in so many different forms. It could be a t-shirt, it could be a kid bringing in a stuffed animal, and the little stuffed animal has a t-shirt. It could be a car driving by with a British flag. It could be in any way. And that goes for all the synchronistic symbols, okay? So when I call out synchronistic symbols, that's what I mean. It's going to come to you in some way, shape, or form. Now, I believe last week's video, I was addressing Jake Middleton's like really cool blue boots. And then I drew the synchronistic symbol. Also, I drew a rainbow when I was discussing the Wizard of Oz, okay? I cut up these little images. I draw things on pieces of paper. I cut them up and I put them in a bag. And I shake up the bag and I grab these things out randomly, okay? So just like the intuitive card lessons that I was teaching people, like the cartomancy, the tarot lessons that I was giving, the same thing applies to these little scraps of paper. So I think it was really cool that I pulled the British flag, okay? So let's see what this week's synchronistic symbol is going to be. You know what really drives me crazy? I am so angry at myself because when I created the spirit creatures list, I was literally working off the top of my head. And so that was a very basic outline of special creatures that exist that have spiritual significance, okay? So I did not add the meaning of the dragonfly. Like, I love dragonflies of all insects. You know, when I go outside and enjoy seeing and enjoy them being close to me is the dragonfly. How could I skip that one? Okay, but anyway, I will be updating some of my I'm going to call them my little publications, right? That I usually attach to my videos. I will be adding the dragonfly because I do think it's significant. This blue dragonfly just so happens to be pulled again. Now, I know that in the last, month or two, we've had the dragonfly has been popping up quite a few times. So I am upset that I didn't put it in my spirit creatures list. But anyway, the significance of a blue dragonfly. When a blue dragonfly is coming into your life, the message is that you have some sort of important mission. Now, I was just talking about the synchronicities of when I was pulling these items of the British flag, and then backing up a week before that, we were talking about the rainbow. Okay, everything is in sync. I want people to understand that divine is real, very real. Okay, and there is an open communication to the divine. People don't realize just how much we are not alone here on this planet. It is being witnessed by a very, very powerful deity being, okay? Yes, I am considered a deity because I have special gifts, but I have never thought of myself as the ultimate deity, okay? And I understand my intuitive messages have always told me that, I have obsessed about this my entire life because I have always, when I've accomplished things through the working through magic or whatever, I have always given thanks to the divine. Always. Every single way. And I possibly could. And I understand that there's, a lot of confusion about the connection to the divine. And I think there was a lot of tension, a lot of fighting. I am so sorry that happened. But I want you to know that this happened for a reason. Okay, and it is a very serious spiritual one. And it's kind of beautiful because it's a lot of it kind of flips in sync of talking about things like the new earth. Now, I hate to sit here and kind of interrupt the synchronistic symbol for the week, but this thought is flowing through my mind about how, in the past, I took an interest in the Bible because I wanted to know the nature and the things of God all my life as a Marine Gordon. And chances are, all my life, Solomon, me, as King Solomon, went to God, if you want to call, God, the divine, and asked for wisdom to rule people, to rule over the people that were underneath my kingdom at that time, okay? And so I was given the wisdom to do that because I understand people very, very well, okay? So this divine mission, this blue dragonfly, okay, when you see it this week, if you see it this week, and I hope you see it this week, I'm gonna speak it into existence. I want you to see it this week, okay? Not everybody's gonna see it, but people who are meant to see it are going to see it in some way, shape, or form, okay? This is my mission. My mission is to call people to heaven. I hope you guys have a really good week, and I hope you guys keep your eye focused on the blue dragonfly. Make sure that you think about the things that you want. Make a wish on this blue dragonfly, okay? And be blessed this week. Take care. Bye.